Tuples. What are tuples actually? Tuples are one of the types of data structures in Python. See, we have list, right? What is the difference between a list and what is the basic difference between a list and a tuple? Tuples are immutable, means it can't be changed. You cannot you cannot change the tuple once it's created. That is the major difference between lists and tuples. Tuple looks exactly same like a list, but the parentheses, the closed parentheses are used instead of square brackets. We use square brackets in for lists in Python. We use parentheses for tuples. Once you define a tuple, you can't change the tuple. You can't add, delete, insert. You cannot do anything. All these operations are not allowed in tuple. That is the major difference you should remember. That is a very important topic. Now, coming to indexing in a tuple. Tuple supports indexing. That means you can access each and every item in a tuple with indexing. Likewise in list, the index in tuple starts with 0. Okay. Now let's see one Python. Let's create a Python tuple just for your understanding. I hope the screen is visible clearly. Now let me create a tuple t is equals to, we use parenthesis. Tuple can consist of any data type element. It can store strings, integers or float values. It can store anything. This is a tuple now. Now when I try to print this tuple t, and when I try to execute this, okay, you got the output as entire tuple. Whatever you have given, that you got. This is the output. This is how you create one method to create a tuple in Python. You can create tuple like this also. Okay, this is also a tuple. You can create tuple like this also. See, one thing I would like to tell you here is, you can make a tuple out of a list. You can make a set out of a list. How means, wait, I'll show you one program so that you understand better. What did I tell? You can make a tuple out of a list. Anything. A list, we can make a list as a tuple. List is equals to, when I give L is equals to, if that is indicating square braces, then you should understand that it is a list. 30, 50, if this is the list. Now you want this as a tuple. So how can you deal is y is equals to tuple is a keyword, tuple of L. Now when you print y, I hope you understand. Now you got the correct output. The list you have given is changed into a tuple with the keyword tuple. I hope you have understood. Now you can, vice versa is also possible. If L is a tuple, you can make it as a list also. That flexibility is there. You can make it as list of L. Now when I make this, yeah, this is possible. I am pasting the output here. See, now 10, 20, 30, 50 in the L. L is a tuple. Now Y is a list. How? With the help of the keyword list. Now we'll write a program on indexing in tuple. This is given tuple. Let me take another tuple. Maybe I'll take fruits. And take them. Now if I print, as I told, indexing starts from 0. If I print L of 0, I'm sure that it will print apple, because indexing of the first element is always 0. See, apple is printed. Now when I try to print the last element, what is the index of a last element that I've told you? That is -1. If I try to print -1, then kiwi is printed, right? Kiwi. Pasting the output here. Yeah, kiwi is printed. Now if I print -2, see this, by this we conclude that tuple also allows, negative indexing also is possible, positive indexing is also possible. When I print L of -2, we get banana, because -1 is kiwi's index and banana's index is -2. So banana is printed. I hope you could see the result. I'll increase this. Yeah, banana is printed. I hope you understand how to give indexing in tuple. Now tuple is done. Tuple's index is done. Indexing you have come across. Now you can't add. You can't assign a new value to a tuple. See, when I try to add this element, let me show you. If I add, let me use append for that. L dot append of, if I append something like fruit's name, okay, jackfruit. If I try to append this, I think we get the error as tuple has no attribute like append. I think we'll try. I don't know. I'm not clear, but I think yes. Tuple object has no attribute append. Yes, I'm correct. Append is not there in tuple. If I use add, we'll see. Add and delete are also not there. Let's try once. Add is also not there in a tuple. If I use remove, remove is also not there. Okay. There is no attributes like add, delete. All the methods in the list that you have seen are not there for a tuple. Now, there is one chance of adding elements into a tuple. Just one chance. I'll show you how. Before telling you the process of adding elements into a tuple, let me tell you one interesting thing about a tuple is tuples are very faster to create when compared with lists. Tuples creation, when you create a tuple, it is very faster. You can create them very fast when compared with a list. And another important point is when you create a tuple in the memory, you have, maybe I'll show you like this, wait. Now you have this. Now when a tuple is created, maybe you have a tuple of, okay, you have this tuple. Now first is 10, 20, 30, 40. You have this tuple of 10 to 4 elements. Now when a tuple is created, think that it is your memory space, and when this tuple is created, index is given to 10. Memory address is given to 10 and the entire tuple is stored. There is no, but when in the case of a list, index is given to, memory is, it takes two memories for starting and also for ending. But when you take it as a tuple, it takes only 10. The first element's memory and the entire tuple is stored. I hope you're getting that point. Let me repeat it. Tuple is faster to create when compared with a list. And the other point is, it takes a single memory area. When a tuple is created, it takes one memory area, just one memory area. But when we take list, two memories are considered. One is the starting memory, starting index memory and the ending index memory, that you should remember. It may be of a multiple choice, you can answer that. Now coming to the process of adding elements into a tuple. You can add these elements into a tuple. I'll show you the fashion. Let T1 be a tuple. Let me assume this as my tuple. For I in range of 10, 100, 10, print T1, ID of T1. Why this? T1 is equals to T1 plus is equals to this type of assignment, short assignment you see in integers while adding or subtracting integers, while adding or subtracting real numbers. This now when I try to print T1, now T1 is empty, right? When I try to print T1, yeah, we got all the elements are assigned into a tuple. This is the only way I think of adding a tuple as per my knowledge. T1 is an empty tuple. See if it is not comma. Let's try without comma. If it is not comma, then it becomes an integer. It doesn't become a tuple. It becomes an integer. When I access this, see, can only concatenate tuple, not int to tuple. You cannot add, you cannot concatenate integer into a tuple. This is the output we got. Let me show you the error also so that you can know this. See, this is a type error. You can only concatenate tuple, not int to tuple. This is a tuple, right? This comma, when we put it as a comma, it is a tuple, not integer, okay? No. Getting this, when I add, yeah, you got the output. So if you want, you can take a screenshot of this. This is the, if it is no, you should remember one point. If there is no comma, then it belongs to integer class. Only if comma is there, Python takes this. The language understands it as a tuple. Okay. Now let's go back to my slide. Overwriting a tuple. See, if you want to create a tuple, although you can't modify, you can't modify a tuple. You just can, as I have shown, you can just append elements into a tuple, that too with that, with that code only. You cannot assign new value to your variable, that holds it. So if you want to change, you can redefine them. See, you have this tuple, maybe, let me print. I'll give it as maybe you have these elements. Have these elements. Now you can't add elements that you have seen. Tuple has no attributes like append, add or delete, remove, nothing is there in a tuple. So if you want to overwrite a tuple, this is the syntax. I'll show you the syntax. You can redefine this. Then T1 is equals to, you take now when I try to print T1, see, you can override the entire tuple. I'm printing here. See, whatever is done at the last is going to be my output, because we are overwriting this tuple of strings with the tuple of integers. So the end tuple is printed. I hope you have understood. If you want to know more about this, you can practice it for a while. You can get it. Redefining a tuple means you give the same name as of the before tuple, so that you get the tuple. Okay, you get a new tuple with whatever you give values new to it. This is all about a tuple. Now coming to some of the cases, I'll delete this. Now we'll discuss some functions when related to lists and tuples. If indexing is there means it supports slicing also. One important point to be remembered. If indexing is possible, then slicing is also possible. Okay. This is for list. This is for tuple. Now we'll see, coming to mutability. What is mutability? We are just comparing the differences. I mean, comparing the what are the different elements in a tuple and a list. Now coming to the first concept, mutability. Mutability, that is changeable. List is changeable. Yes or wrong? Yes or no? Yes. List is changeable, whereas tuple is not changeable. Now coming to order. Does tuple maintains an order? Yes. Whereas list also maintains an order. Yes. If you didn't see my video of list, you can go back to my channel and refer to the video of list, so that you could understand what is mutability, what is order. Now, is indexing there in list? Yes. Is indexing there in tuple? Yes. Is slicing there in list? Yes. Is slicing there in tuple? Yes. Now, are duplicate values allowed in a tuple? Yes. In lists also duplicates are allowed. Duplicates means common elements. In in lists also they are allowed. It can take. I think I no need to show, but I'll show it. 10, 20, 10. Tuple. When I create a tuple, I'll give. See, if duplicates are allowed only, this is printed. Otherwise, we get an error. That I'll show you in sets what is the error. See, 10, 20, 10 is allowed. 80, 90, where 80 is the duplicate element, then also it's allowed. Duplicates are allowed. Yes, yes. Slicing is allowed. Yes. Now, I'll give one sample program. Likewise, I told slicing allows us to work with a part of a list. In tuple also, you can work with a part of a list. But you can't change it, okay? That is the real scenario. If you want to just print, okay, L of indexing, the syntax of indexing never changes. It is square braces only. List or tuple name of square braces. If you want from 0 to 2. Step size by default is 1. When I print this is a tuple. 2 means it takes up to 1. 2 minus 1, it takes up to 1. This is the output here. 10 refers to 0, 1 refers to 20. I hope you have understood. Now in the next tutorial, we'll deal with sets. Thank you for today. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.